So we're FightFan.com here with the Hitman Ricky Hatton. Ricky, thanks for taking the call. Could we get your thoughts on the style matchup against Manny Pacquiao?
Yeah, I think it's a good clash of styles. Manny's very aggressive, I'm very aggressive. Obviously, you know, he's a southpaw, but he's not necessarily awkward southpaw. You know, he commits himself when he commits himself with a punch. How can I say? He puts all his eggs in one basket. You know, type thing. He really commits himself with a punch. So I think if he hits you, you know, you'll know about it because he's got good balance. He shuffles in and out and tries to draw his opponents onto punches. And if he does that and he lands one, and bearing in mind that he does put all his eggs in one basket, he really goes for broke with his punches. You know, it will make your ears ring a bit. But to be perfectly honest, if he misses, then I think sometimes his balance goes a little bit off and that. And I've got good footwork, good balance. You know, and if he misses that. You know, I'm hoping I can slip some big heavy shots in there. I don't think anyone has, in recent fights, Oscar De La Hoya and Diaz and Marquez and Barrera, I don't think anybody's put the pressure on him. I think everybody's, because he's so aggressive, has always backed off. I think I've studied all the tapes, and I think the last person to put him under pressure and push him back was Morales, and he beat him. So I understand I'm an underdog, but there's no reason why I shouldn't go through in this fight brimming of confidence. You know, anybody who has a fight with me at 10 stone, I'd like to think will come second.
You got a good look at Manny when you were ringside at the De La Hoya fight. What did you think of how he's improved as a fighter and how he looked at that weight?
Yeah, he looked very well. I mean, any win against Oscar De La Hoya is an exceptional one. But and he showed good boxing ability. If I can, you know, stamp on his parade, if you like, a little bit. That night, bearing in mind that Oscar, I don't think he had a leg under him, to be honest with you. Right. You know, I hope Oscar doesn't, you know, forgives me for saying, but he seemed like a dead man walking that night. You know, he wasn't throwing any punches. I think you know, from the weigh-in, you know, when everyone expected him to, the following evening, you know, put on about 14 pounds, he put 2 on, and I think it showed in his performance. And as well as Manny looked out boxing him, I don't think it was that hard to do so that night.
Ricky, are you the bigger and stronger man in this fight, and how will that play a role?
Yes, very much so. And I think my speed will surprise him. I think I've got underestimated speed. I've changed my training tactics, and you know, with my new camp and that. I mean, for years I did very, very heavy weights. And for my first training camp with Floyd Mayweather, I didn't do the weights, and I thought my hands looked faster for it. And with another training camp under my belt without the weights, I think I should be faster still. And a lot of people are expecting Manny's speed to cause me problems, which I'm sure it will. But my speed's not too bad. Don't forget, I was quicker than Paulie Malignaggi last time. You know. Absolutely.
If Manny elects to box and move, how do you plan to deal with that?
Cut the ring down, stay in his face, try and draw him into a fight. You know, Manny's a very aggressive person. He's got a lot of pride in the way he fights, and you know, hopefully drawing him into a fight. But obviously, Manny, he's got very good footwork. He tries to walk you onto punches. You know, with that big left cross. So I've got to be careful as I put the pressure on. But I think it was clear to see me last fight. That's one thing that was better, was my defence, and it will be even better with another training camp under my belt. So I hope to show lots of jabbing, lots of head movement, coming in, picking shots off, and then when Manny commits himself, hopefully when he misses, I'll be throwing in some big shots. I think Manny's been shook up quite a few times.
The next question I had is, if he does stand toe-to-toe with you, Ricky, do you think that's to your advantage?
I do think it's to my advantage. Obviously, there's dangers for myself as well, because Manny can punch. But you know, 2 of his knockout defeats were against body punch. He lost on body punches. 2 of his defeats were body punches. Marquez shook him up, I should say. I saw him get knocked down by a Russian with a body shot early in his career, and I saw him get knocked down by a guy, an Australian called Nadal Hussain, with a jab. You know, so I understand I'm the underdog. With his, you know, he's a modern day legend. When you think he won his first world title at flyweight, I mean, I understand that I'm the underdog. But I think he's been hurt by Marquez and hurt by Nadal Hussein, and they're not quite in his face as much as I'm going to be. I think that like you say, the last time, I think because he's very, very aggressive and he is the way he is, I think everybody tends to give ground against him, but I know a man that won't be giving ground. I mean, I've just obviously we've been working on already in the gym. I've only been in the gym 2 weeks now. We've already been working on putting the pressure on and picking shots off as we're moving in and jabbing as we're moving in and slipping that left cross and so it's all really going to plan. I mean, myself and our camp we're extremely confident, but we understand we're the underdog, and it's a great position to be in because I don't think too many people are tipping me to win, to be honest. So it's a great position to be in. We're super confident.
Ricky, the last question I had for you is, I guess it's more of a statement, but in the last little while, like you always seem to be a guy that likes to take on the biggest fights possible, and this is no exception. Do you feel you get enough credit for wanting to take these big fights that you do?
In certain areas, you get the credit, but I think any fighter, I think Manny or myself or Mayweather or Cotto or any of the guys, there's always going to be people that are going to knock you and put you down. But I spent my the early part of my career, and people used to say, well, he's overhyped, he's overprotected, he doesn't want to come out of Manchester, he's avoiding this guy, he's avoiding that guy, he doesn't want to fight the best. And I think if you look in the last few years since I've been fighting in the United States, I fought the pound for pound best in Floyd Mayweather, moved up to welterweight, which my first fight at welterweight, I think it was clear to see it wasn't my natural weight. Even though I won a world title against Louis Colato, I did struggle, but I had no fear in moving up to welterweight again to challenge Floyd. I mean, I've won world titles against Juan Yarango and Carlos Mauser. Costa was number 2 pound for pound in the world at the time, and regarded as the current undisputed champion. And then first man to knock out, knock down, I suppose, Jose Luis Castillo with a body punch, and so anyway, I'm again challenging for the best pound for pound title again. I don't think that many people, we're always going to get people that will knock us. That's the way this game is. But I don't think people are going to have too many complaints with who Ricky Hatton's fighting in the last 2 or 3 years. It seems all I've done is fight world champions, be up a weight, down in weight, and fight some of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. And that's what I said from the early days. That's what I wanted to do, and I think that's what I've done.
Well, a lot of guys seem to pick and choose who they fight, but you seem to target the best, and I guess that's why there's only one Ricky Hatton. So we want to say mad respect for that.
Yeah, not at all. And I mean, I will be cautious against Manny because obviously, as I say, he has pretty decent footwork. He shuffles in and shuffles out, and he tries to bring you onto the punch, and then he really loads up with that left cross and really goes for broke. So I understand the dangers are there, but I think sometimes he has been shaken up, and he's been shaken up by people on the back foot who have been a little bit intimidated by his aggressiveness. I certainly, I think he's going to have to absorb a lot more punches than he has done in recent fights, that's for certain, because of the fact that, I suppose he's landed me in trouble in the past, but there's no fear with Ricky Hatton, is there? So
that's a good note to leave it on. We want to wish you the best of luck in health and training, Ricky, and thanks very much for doing this.
Thanks very much, my pleasure.